Today I want to talk about the top 5 most deadly animals in Australia, and they are not the ones you think. Now this whole topic came up because Haley and I just went to Australia, and there's lots of animals there that are dangerous. You got sharks and crocodiles, box jellies, octopus, snakes, cone snails, plants, spiders. I mean, it can be really intimidating if you're planning a trip to Australia when you realize how many things seem to be highly venomous, could be very deadly. But today, I want to talk about the top 5 animals in Australia that can kill you according to how many people actually die from them. And the statistic we're going to use is the number of people that have died from 2000 to 2010. It's a nice round decade, and it gives us something to work with. All right, let's get going. Number 5, honeybees. In fact, in our time frame, 16 people died.
Got bees over here.
And specifically, we're talking about European honeybees, Apis mellifera, and they're not native to Australia. They're actually used for producing honey. They produce 30,000 tons of it annually, and there are about 500,000 hives in Australia right now. A lot of people go into anaphylactic shock if they get stung, thus, they make the top 5. Number 4, the kangaroo. I know you've probably got online at some point and you've seen pictures of kangaroos fighting people. In fact, they're very dangerous with their big hind feet. They can jump up and kick you. But in fact, of those 18 deaths that have occurred from kangaroos, only 2 of them seem to be unknown. The rest of them are because people hit them in their vehicles. It's a lot like deer in the United States. They're very deadly animals, but it's because they're causing road accidents. Number 3, dogs.
Falcon! Inside!
And we're not talking dingoes here. We're talking domesticated dogs. 14 of those deaths were actually from bites. So we're talking about somewhat dangerous breeds of dogs, Rottweilers and Pit Bulls, that if they actually bite somebody, and I know it's rare, then they can have the potential of killing them. But the really interesting thing, I think, is that 9 of the 27 deaths were not from bites. They were actually from people falling over with their dog. So either falling over the dog or, while they have them on the leash, getting pulled and then they fall down. I guess old people, I don't know. Number 2 on the list, cattle. In fact, they're responsible for 33 deaths in our time frame. 16 people died from being hit by cattle, and 14 people died from crushing or piercing, and the remaining number is unknown cause. Now, it's important to understand that cattle are not native to Australia, but Australia has a huge cattle industry. In fact, it is now one of the world's largest producers of beef. They have 27.4 million cattle in Australia, and the cattle industry is actually worth 14 billion US dollars. So with those numbers and the size of these animals, it makes sense that they're number 2 on the list. Number 1, though, turns out to be the horse. In fact, 77 deaths occurred from 2000 to 2010. 46 of those people alone died from simply falling off of the horse. It's pretty astounding that this is twice the number of deaths as cattle. I suppose it a little bit makes sense because people are actually riding the horses to herd the cattle. You've got cowboys running around all over the place. But it's still quite an unusually high number compared to all the other dangerous animals that seem to be in Australia. So the take-home message for me is it's not Australia's native animals that are the most dangerous. It's actually domesticated animals that we live with every day all over the world that are responsible for the most people dying. In theory, they're the most dangerous, the most deadly animals out there. And just as something to throw out there have been no deaths in Australia since the 1980s of spiders. And I know Australia has a great reputation for venomous spiders.
Isn't that amazing how reluctant it is to bite?
So go out, enjoy the Australian wildlife, use some caution. I mean, crocodiles are big animals. Anyway, this was just a quickie. I wanted to get something out this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your comments down below if you've had interactions with Australian wildlife in a positive or a negative way. It's really interesting to hear from you. All right, we'll see you in the next video.